Welcome to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO. And for those of you that don't know who we are, Ron and I are the co-founders of the Ridge Project and the co-creators of TYRO.
TYRO is a Latin word which means apprentice, novice, someone learning something new, warrior.
And when we think of warrior, what we think of is someone that's warring to become a leader in their children's lives, in their homes, in their communities, and their workplaces.
You know, really fighting for the legacy that you know that's in your heart that you want to build. That means bringing yourself all under control. Not living for yourself, but living for those around you that gives you the hope and reason why you're building a legacy that will outlast you.
So Ron and I learned what we're going to teach you through our own journey of 15 years in prison. Ron doing time on the inside, while the kids and I did the time on the outside. And was it a hard journey? It absolutely was.
Absolutely.
But was it totally worth all the effort we put into our relationship and our family? And then some, right? The return on the investment is incredible. Watching our boys grow up to be strong, healthy, productive fathers and husbands. Watching our daughter thrive as she goes through high school and becoming a leader. So it doesn't happen overnight. What it takes is consistent investment in our children's lives. And so we want to encourage you through TYRO TV and through TYRO Dads, TYRO Leadership, on how to overcome every obstacle in front of you in order to have successful reentry, first and foremost, into your children's lives.
And the first thing you got to be really honest is you want to be teachable. You want to be at a place in your life, and you are in a place in your life, you find yourself incarcerated, you're there, and you want to be teachable. So you know what? The things I was practicing out there prior to being incarcerated, they didn't work. You know, even on my best day, look where it got me. It got me 5 to 25, 10 to 15, 8 years flat, 5 years flat, whatever it is. This is what it looked like. So now it's time. And so we thank you for allowing us to be part of your journey today so that we can bring you something that's going to help you go from here to there, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to grow. We want to learn, and we want to take the skills and the practices that we're doing inside prison and apply them out here. Because the first thing that we learn, I want to throw this in here, Cass, before we go on to the next one, is the thing that you're learning in there is how to become men of your word. Come on, dads. A man worth following is a man of his word. And that's what we're talking about, being a TYRO, right? And it's really important because today's topic is really, really crucial to successful relationship with your wife, relationship with your kids, and relationship with everybody who is involved in your life.
And holding down a job, getting a good job, keeping a good job, and being able to actually move forward and get promotions at your job. So you see, we know that you have dreams, but we also know that we have the tools to help you achieve them. And today we're going to talk about building healthy relationships at work, healthy friendships at work. Vitally important, something that not many people talk about, that they don't really understand the importance of that and how to do it, why to do it, and exactly what we're talking about.
So stay tuned and we'll be right back.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You will begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine TYRO's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions, to own it. You'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO, or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO. And today we are talking about healthy friendships at work.
What is it? What is a healthy friendship at work? You know, I'll tell you what it's not.
All right, let's start with what it's not.
What it's not, listen, gentlemen, when you go to work, and what it's not is if you're confiding in a woman at work things that you should be confiding in your wife and you're not doing it, that's not a healthy friendship.
That's right. When you go to work, it's really important. What we are talking about is building rapport and friendships and trust with your coworkers, building that working relationship where you can help each other out, where you both feel safe, you both feel comfortable, but you keep boundaries around your personal life. And so that if you do decide to intersect your personal life, that it's in a healthy way where you say, come on over to my house with my family, bring your family over. Or let's you and your husband and me and my wife get together. Then this is for those of you that are in a relationship. If you're not in a relationship, it's still really, really important, if you're not in a personal relationship outside of work, to maintain boundaries inside the work setting.
Because the first thing that's going to take you out, guys, is your own mind. You know, what a healthy relationship is and why it's really important is if you come out, when you get out, right, and you get a job, that should be the furthest thing from your mind is having a romantic relationship with one of your coworkers. Right?
Bad news.
Bad place to be because you're still trying to establish yourself. You're still trying to figure out and get acclimated to society. You're still trying to prove to the company, not only will I be here on time, but you can trust me and I am a safe bet. Right?
I'm not a player. I'm not trying to pick off this woman and that woman. I'm not trying to see who I can pick up. I'm not a pickup artist. I am a hard worker. I'm here to invest in your company. And why do you think we're talking about this with you right now? Because we have seen so many people, not just clients and TYROs, not just people navigating through from inside to outside, but even friends, even neighbors, even people that we meet other places get caught up in unhealthy relationships at work that have been their demise employment wise, where they've lost their job, they've lost their reputation, and now they're struggling.
And so this is a subject that we need to talk about. It needs to be brought to the light because one of your first battles you're going to have is, does she like me? Because she smiled at me. When you're at work,
she's really friendly. She must be attracted to me.
You know, and this is one of the I don't know what you call it, one of the vices, right, that men who are in prison have, because you have to have a degree of narcissism to find yourself in prison.
Or to survive prison.
Or even to survive prison. You have to have it. And so when it's all about you, right, then you lose sight of really what's happening here.
Right.
You start to live in a world of imagination that does not exist.
So we have watched two things happen, right? When we think about, we're going to talk about in our next segment why it is important to build a healthy relationship. But right now, we really want to make sure you understand what we're talking about. We're talking about an appropriate friendship and trust relationship, not somebody trying to build a romantic relationship.
Right.
Because one of two things happens. Either one, that's the person that you think, because they were so friendly and so helpful, well, that's their job, to be friendly and helpful and help you get acclimated, that they must be coming on to you or welcoming advances. And we've seen people lose their job because somebody comes in and says, you know what, that new guy you just hired, the guy out of prison, makes me really uncomfortable. He asked me out, he keeps flirting with me, and it's completely inappropriate. And the guy's like, whoa, that caught me off guard. She was so friendly. She was so nice. I thought for sure she was into me. No.
So back to that self-absorbed mentality where it's all about you. Come on, guys, listen. You got to stay so focused on what is a healthy relationship, friendship, coworkers. You know, remember that rule in penitentiary, 5 feet rule.
That's right.
Put that up, man. Put that 5 feet till you establish yourself as a man of honor, a man of good character on the streets. A romantic relationship, if you're not married and if you don't have a lady out there waiting for you, that should be the furthest thing from your mind until you establish yourself.
Right. Until you have a job for at least a year, till you can buy a car and you have your own place and you've been able to pay for your own place for at least a year. Okay, let's go back to number two. I told you number one. Number one is you're accused of something inappropriate, even though you were like, whoa. Then number two thing that happens is that you actually get caught up in an inappropriate relationship, and maybe there's an HR policy that says there cannot be commingling of employees, so you lose your job. Or maybe she's married, or maybe you're married, and so your whole family falls apart, and then you end up being late for work or getting laid off because you were the troublemaker that came in and caused chaos. Not only does it affect you, not only does it affect your reputation, but it's going to affect and infect your entire family, including your kids, because word gets out, right? So when we talk about what are we talking about with friendship, we're talking about appropriate platonic relationships that are
That's the word.
both respectful.
Platonic. And that's a word that I don't think I've heard used in prison.
I hope that everybody has a platonic
we
relationship.
practice that, but we don't use that word because we don't talk about it. Because some things that are understood need not be explained, right? But when we're out here in the real world, that needs to be explained because miscues, I misread something happens all the time.
All the time.
Right?
All the time, which is why we cannot say it enough, gentlemen. You are dad first, you are employee second, way down the line. Then you are a productive citizen member third. All of these other titles before you are the guy trying to find a date. And don't be that guy at work, because it will cost you your job, it will cost you your reputation, and create more pain for your kids. They just got done telling Timmy next door, yeah, my dad's working at such and such place. And then a week later, dad gets fired, and then Timmy says, yeah, I heard your dad was hitting on the boss, right? Oh, right, you don't want that reputation.
So what we're talking about right now is what is healthy friendship. We want to be healthy. In everything that we do, we want to be healthy, right? And having a platonic relationship with people, you can have a healthy platonic relationship with people. You can go play tennis. You can go watch a movie. You can do these things as long as you're focused and you're conscious of what's happening.
You can work alongside somebody and you can laugh and joke and be appropriate, and it remain just that, a working coworker relationship. And so when we come back, we're going to talk about why it's important to build those healthy relationships. We spent a lot of time in this segment talking about what not to do. Now we're going to explain to you why it's important to have healthy, thriving, good relationships with your coworkers.
So stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Playing catch, basketball, laughing, and enjoying each other's company. These are all normal things on the outside, but many times are missed in a visitation setting. TYRO Dads brings the same fun experience to the inside through Family Days. As a TYRO Dad, you have the opportunity to participate in this fantastic event. Family Day is designed to allow fathers and families to engage with each other through activities designed to stimulate communication, learning, and play. Family Days will not only be a highlight for you, but for your children as well. The Ridge Project has strategically developed Family Day as an opportunity to help you connect with your child throughout your separation and help both of you develop skills to continue building your relationship when you return home.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tiarina.
And I'm Cathy Tiarina.
And today we're talking about friends at work.
Healthy friendships.
And not friends with benefits. That's we're not talking about friends with benefits. We're talking about friends at work, healthy friends. Because friends with benefits, that is not healthy.
It's not a benefit to you. It is a detriment, right? And so whoever coined that term had no idea what they were talking about, because that always turns detrimental. Does not work.
Always.
100% of the time.
So we're talking about work friends.
Yes.
You're at work and you're working side by side by this beautiful woman, and her name happens to be Cathy. Oh, this is my wife. So.
But even at work, we still have a different set of rules than what we would have outside of work. So, let's talk about why it's important to have healthy friendships. And we're not just talking about male-female. We're talking about male-male, female-female, and female-male. When we talk about friends, we're talking about, in general, friends. Because research shows that if you build healthy relationships and have friends at work, you're less likely to be late, because that accountability and you don't want to let them down. You're also more likely to be more productive. You're more likely to enjoy and like your job. You're more likely to learn more new things on the job because you feel like you're part of something bigger than yourself.
Because what happens is when you're building that camaraderie at work, right? It's a family. So now watch this. So no longer are you seeing Susie as a target,
right?
Or even you now lifted her up to almost seeing Susie as a best friend, right?
As a peer.
As a peer, somebody, you know what? We're equals.
Right.
And no longer is she a notch in your belt, and you don't even think like that because you're seeing these people.
Because you say, wow,
Right.
Susie's mom of 3, Susie's husband Bill comes and has lunch with her once a week. Wow, they're a great family. And then you think, wow, what can I learn from Susie and Bill's relationship? How can I become a better dad by watching how they interact with their kids? And so it changes your perspective and helps you grow and learn and become better at work, better at home. Why is it important to build those relationships? Because now those defenses are a little bit down, and we're not talking about letting your defenses all the way down, but they're a little bit down, so I can say things like, hey, Jill, can you help me learn this? Because you've learned in yours friendship that Jill is patient, she's a good teacher, that she knows her job really well, and I want to learn it so that I can be an even better value to the company. But if I don't build friends, then I'm afraid I don't know who to ask, I don't know how to connect, so I begin to withdraw, so it doesn't matter if I'm late, doesn't really matter if I show up, nobody's going to miss me anyway, and eventually I'm going to lose my job.
We know some companies that have built their break area to be almost like somebody's kitchen, right? Because they want to create an environment where it's friendly, where it's safe, where people, when they go in that break room, they know, hey, look, don't worry about work. Come and build that relationship, and a healthy relationship. Talk about things that are going to make you want to be excited about coming here.
And coming back to
Right.
work and giving it your all.
Giving it your all.
So if you want to be productive, you want to be promoted, then that means you want to build friends. And we mean real, true friends. And that's built on honesty, trustworthiness, honor, integrity. It's not built on schmoozing to see who I can get ahead. It's not built on flattery. It's built on real relationship. When you build real relationships, then you can have get-togethers and you celebrate each other. This is important because it also teaches your children the value of work and the value of people. Because oftentimes we see people separate those two things, objectify people, and just work to get an end, which is that paycheck or that promotion. When you bridge the two of them together, you are going to experience exponential success.
We've seen in life, and I'm sure you've seen this too, gentlemen, where you become friends with somebody at the workplace. Well, something happens, maybe somebody gets promoted or leaves that job, and you guys are real good friends, and they go somewhere else to work. What usually happens to that friendship? With time, it dissolves because you're no longer meeting in the break room. You're no longer...
Because you were work friends, and that's okay. Yep. You don't have to. You can, in a healthy way, navigate those work friendships out to your personal life, but you don't have to.
So that's what we're talking about, work friends. You have something common. You have something in common together, and you're both trying to achieve actually almost the same type of goals because you're using the same means to get there. Right? And so building friendships, and companies are really, really value this when they can get a group of people of like-mindedness. Look, I want to buy a house. I want to buy a car. Well, what's it going to do? You know what? We got to get this place up and running. We got to make sure this place is making money and productive. So now they're excited about the employees, about showing up and showing out, right? Putting out great product, right? And then so they're celebrating one each other's accomplishments. And that's the type of environment you're looking for at the workplace, where you're celebrating each other, not hitting on each other.
Then as you navigate, say another opportunity somewhere else opens up, you can use your friends as references. You can use your supervisor and your employer because they'll say, wow, yeah, they get along with everybody. People feel safe around them. They feel respected. That person is trustworthy and honorable. What you don't want them to say is, oh man, yeah, okay, they were a good worker, but I could never put him with a woman. He always hit on her, right? Or the guys, he was always in competition, always wanting to argue, and so he's hardly worth the trouble. That's not what you want, right? You want that full, well-rounded reference. And that's why it's so important to build healthy relationships with the people you work with. It's not, oh, well, I have to put in my 8 hours with them, and then I can go home and forget about them. Okay, every day you get to have an opportunity to find a way, and sometimes it's a challenge, to find a way to connect with somebody that is so completely different than you.
So, so work is the challenge, right? So Cathy just said, and being friends is challenging, right? Because maybe they're having a bad day, maybe something happened, but we want to come to a place of friendship where, you know what? We can go to the break room, we can break bread together, we don't have to talk. Right? These are things as you grow into being a true friend at the workplace. How do you act? How do you support one another?
And that is a really great segue. We're going to wrap this segment up. We're going to have a short message, and we'll be right back to talk about how do you do it? How do you build healthy friendships at work? So stay tuned.
We'll be right back.
Dear son, it's been hard these last few years watching you grow up without me in the picture. Never taking the time to find out how you were or what was going on in your life. You're just a boy, I thought. You don't need me. I didn't need my dad. He was never around, I told myself. But I was wrong, son. I'm supposed to be a grown man. I was selfish. I was stupid. I was thinking of me, not you. If I could go back, son, and change things, I would. It's taken me all this time being selfish to finally grow up and realize I need to be a responsible man. That's what I finally learned, not from prison, but the TYRO program. It's all about becoming a better, stronger man. Wish I would have gotten it sooner. Everything looks different to me now. I'm a changed person. I know I need to be there for you now. It's not about me anymore. It's not about being cool. It's not about who I run with. It's about mom. It's about you. It's about being a better man, learning something new in my life. It's about being a TYRO, a man worth following. I'm your dad. You're my son, and I love you. I am a TYRO. I'm a TYRO. Dad.
If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO or just want to know more, contact your local Ridge Project facilitator or your caseworker.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO.
And today we're talking about friends at work or work friends.
Or co-workers that are friends.
Right?
Lots of different ways to say it.
This is going to be really tough, guys, because when you get out, man, I'm telling you, if you've been incarcerated for quite some time, maybe you're really excited and you're anxious about meeting that girl, but we're going to tell you as a TYRO, if she's not your wife or not your girlfriend, abstain.
She's somebody else's.
She's somebody else. Abstain. Stay focused on yourself. Get it together before you try to bring it together.
Okay, so this even means if the girl, so we talked earlier about, when you're misreading signals. So even if the signals are really true and somebody is trying to hook up with you, danger, Will Robinson, danger. Run the other way. That is trouble with a capital T, because if she's been there for a while and things get crazy and funky, guess who's getting fired? Not her. You.
That's right. So stay true to the course. Stay true north to your vision and your dreams that you have. And yeah, maybe you have in the future, there's a woman that you would like to meet one day, but that's the future. Right now, it's obtaining and building your reputation at work. Being somebody healthy where they can trust and count on you that you're not going to be disruptive. Right?
So here are some tips. Here's how to build healthy friendships. So first of all, talk to people. Talk with them. You can ask them questions, but you have to be careful that you're not asking personal questions. So make this number one rule. Personal questions are off limits. So if they start asking personal questions like, so are you married? How many kids do you have? You can say, yeah. Or no, I'm not married. I have 3 kids. And then you can come back with, are you married? Yeah, I'm married. Or no, I'm not. Oh, great. But as long as you keep and you know how to keep the 5-foot rule in place and make sure that the atmosphere is friends, there's something that is like really, really awesome. Let me share this with you. So I learned this early on. So when Ron first went to prison, here I am, I'm 24 years old, and I only had one guy, and that was within the first 6 months, and it was a friend of Ron's, hit on me. The entire rest of the time, nobody hit on me because I made it very clear.
So he really wasn't a friend of mine, was he?
No, he wasn't. So I made it really clear in how I behaved, how I carried myself, how I dressed, how I talked, how I didn't engage in lewd or off-color jokes or crazy stuff. I didn't let myself get carried away and into that because it was setting my reputation very clear. You know what? Don't even try because Cathy isn't even interested. Cathy's happy. She's in love with her husband. Her family's solid. Doesn't even matter that he's in prison. When you set that reputation, you make it a lot easier for yourself because word gets out, don't mess with Ron because he's solid in where he stands.
And that's really important. Thank you for that, Cathy. That is really important, gentlemen, because that's what you're building. You're building a reputation where people can not only take you at your word, but they know where you stand. Mm-hmm. They know your convictions by the way you conduct yourself, by the way you live. And when you show up on time and you show up to work and you get the job done and you're like a cheerleader, you're like the CEO of that company, the chief encouraging officer, people gravitate to that. And yeah, some women might come up to you and they might say, wow, man, and they might be looking at you, but you got to stay the true north, man. You're not ready for that yet.
And you have to say it just like it is. You know what? I'm not looking for a relationship. Or you know what? I can tell, that you're in a tough place in your own marriage, but I just want to encourage you to keep working it out.
Yep.
Like push them back. And I will tell you what, your reputation
skyrocket.
They'll be like, wow, you know what? I came on to Joey. He's a new guy. You know what? And he pointed me back to my husband and really encouraged me to work on my relationship. That is a man of honor. And that's the reputation you want for you. And that's the reputation you want to cast down onto your children.
Because part of your jobs, Tyros, is not only to protect your reputation and to build your reputation, but it's to protect theirs, whether they're conscious of it or not. Your job as a Tyro, your job as a father, is to protect the other people's reputation also. Because you're in this together. A coworker, when you become friends, you got to have each other's back, right? The three amigos, right? The three musketeers, all those principles and all those that they talk about, that's what that looks like. And when you're at the workplace and you got some guy friends that you're hooking up with and they're great dudes and they want to go out and drinking, but you're on parole and you just got this job. You're not only on parole, but you're on probation at the job. And if you get caught drinking with these guys, you could go back to prison. You violate, man, stand strong. Say, listen, man, you guys go party, have your good time, man. I can't do it. I'm not doing it.
Right.
And I'm gonna give you a quick example of what happened. I was working with a young man, about 4 kids, and he was divorced, and he had to go back to rehab. But when he got out of rehab, I told him, look, stay in touch with me, man. He said, well, I got a job offer. I'm gonna go take it. I said, where's the job? And he said, a factory, good factory job. But I told him, listen, man, I don't think you're ready to go back to that factory world. He said, no, my sponsor's gonna be there. They're gonna walk with me. They're gonna help me. I said, listen, man, I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about what you're gonna face when they're not there at that factory, because you already know that those guys party, they drink, and you're gonna be,
and they cheat on their wives.
And that's that lifestyle. And are you strong enough to withstand that and to say, no, I got this. Man, listen, man. My advice to you: don't take the job. Wait for another job. Well, he didn't take my advice. Now he's back in rehab. And what happened? The peer pressure. The peer pressure was too overwhelming for him. He wanted, everybody wants to be liked.
Right.
Nobody wants to be the outcast. Nobody wants to be the oddball.
So when we're thinking about how to build healthy friendships, number 1, set boundaries and rules around what you will and won't do. And know that going in and hold those boundaries. Number 2, watch your conversation. What are the things that are coming out of your mouth? Just because you think it doesn't mean you ought to say it.
That's
Get
right.
that filter working really good on what pops in your head and what comes out your mouth. Number 3, how are you dressing? And I don't mean just like your clothes. You should be neat, you should be clean, but you should not be overdressed. Because if a man shows up to work overdressed, all sprayed with cologne, all the women are like, he is on the prowl, right?
Yep. And same thing with a woman.
Same thing with a woman, right? Get all dolled up to go work and you got your makeup all made up and you got the tightest jeans. Okay, then what do they say? She's on the prowl. So you want to have the reputation that doesn't say they're on the prowl. You want to have the reputation that says that is a solid worker, a trustworthy person. They don't talk bad. They're not hanging out with the wrong crowd. And they come to work clean, neat, and ready to work.
And I think they call the lady who's, I don't know if this is right though, what's a cougar?
Oh, that's an older woman looking for a younger boy.
And what do they call the guy who's...
A dirty old man.
Oh, a dirty old man.
All right. Well, on that note,
all right.
We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to tie it all up for you. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You'll begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine Tiarina's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions. to own it. You'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO, or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO.
And now we're going to just wrap up this whole segment here and really just harness all this friendship.
What does it mean to have a good relationship with your coworkers at work? It's very important. You've got to build healthy relationships. You've got to learn how to have a relationship that is platonic with a person from the opposite sex.
You know, dads, let me share this real quick. You know, we're going to wrap this up, but I want to share this because it's really important because you're building trust with some people, right, Dad? Come on, you're coming home and we broke a lot of bridges before going to prison and we hurt a lot of people, right? And so now you want to rebuild trust. Say you're married and you come home and you're there with the mother of your children and then you go get a job at the factory. You know, if you have a reputation of not being faithful, if you have a reputation of not being who you say you are, whatever that is, this is really crucial because the proof is in the pudding. And if you're going to work and you're trying to, now you're living a double life, come on, you know what I'm talking about? And you come home, they're gonna read you like a book. You can't snow the snowman because you're gonna be conducting yourself in certain different ways because first thing, you know, if you come from a prison, you have to become accountable. So if your wife comes up to you and you come from work, hey, let me check out your cell phone. And the first time you say, wait a minute, let me do, and you start to hold it back, all red flags are gonna go up. What are you doing? Come on now.
And then you teach your kids that it's okay to hide things. But it's not okay. But as you build healthy relationships and your children watch you navigate into work and they watch when they see your coworkers at the store and the respect with which they treat you and the honor, oh my goodness, that helps heal those broken parts inside of your kids. It helps them reestablish trustworthiness with you. And it helps them to respect you as their dad and as a contributing member of society. Healthy relationships will get you to the place you want to go faster than anything else, even faster than the most skilled. You can have the most skilled person that has no character and cannot build healthy relationships. And the person that has skill can learn and gets along well with other people will outpace them every single time. We cannot overemphasize the importance of healthy relationships.
So we hope you enjoyed today's show. We hope you were able to take something out of this. And we would love to hear from you. We would love to hear how this is impacting you.
Or if there's something that you'd like us to tell you about, then let us know what you want us to share.
So thank you again for allowing us to be part of your journey. And until next time, always remember
that we are rooting for you.